Hi YouTube, this is Lisa and you're watching The Backward Glance. Today is September 3rd, 2019, and this is going to be another one of my What Sold Quickly on eBay videos. If you haven't seen one of these, I will share 10 items that I flipped within the first 30 days of being listed in my eBay store. I am primarily a clothing seller, so there's a lot of clothing in here, but also some other stuff too. And unless I say otherwise, please keep in mind that the buyer pays shipping for my items. So let's get started here with this lot of 3 Lululemon tops. I picked these up quite a while ago, and I held on to them because I could not find the style name for these front two shirts. They were both the same kind of a tulip cut, and I did a lot of research. I can always get more for Lululemon if I know the name of the style, but I eventually did just give up and I lotted these all together. The purple shirt that you see was called the Another Round Top, but this one showed a little bit more wear. You could just tell it had been like thrown in the wash a few more times. The other two were in really good condition. And in case you're not familiar with Lululemon, you probably are, but there is the logo to look out for, and the front two tops also still had their pull tag, and you can tell that they were barely worn, if at all, size 6, so that was nice. So I had $12.75 into the lot of 3 of these. I got my full asking price of $38, and that took 7 days to sell. Next up is actually kind of 2 sales. This was a multi-quantity listing, so I picked up 10 of these soaps, and they were unused, but the boxes had a little bit of damage. So the brand on these was called Peter Thomas Roth. I hadn't heard of that, but I looked it up and it had a great sell-through rate, but nobody had these exact soaps listed. I paid $2.10 for the pack of 10, and I got my full asking price of $20 per lot, so $40. That took 28 days to sell. This is an item that I did offer free shipping on, and the reason that I did that is when I have these multiple quantity items, I think it encourages people to just purchase the entire quantity that you have when you offer the free shipping. So that's the reason I added that to this particular order. Next up is just a little sale, but I do love picking up these vintage paint by numbers, and even if they're in a frame, sometimes I'll just take them out because it just makes it easier and cheaper to ship. So this was just a little 8 by 10 with butterflies and roses. I paid 50 cents for this. I sent out offers to watchers for $9.40, and it took 24 days to sell. I was really surprised this didn't just sell outright for my full price because I got so many watchers on this. So if you come across these at thrift stores, garage sales, and you can pick them up for cheap, they seem to do well. I'm not sure why, but I do love to pick them up. Next is a pair of jeans, and the brand on these is Liverpool, and the style was the Sienna pull-on ankle. Liverpool is a brand that's very hit or miss. Certain styles are pretty sought after and other ones really aren't. So I would recommend always looking up the style and seeing what the sell-through rate is like if you're considering picking them up. And they're also not a jean I would ever pay up for. I find that the ones with the pull-on waistband, if they're a skinny style, are usually the ones that do a little bit better in this brand. So I paid $3.22 for this pair. I sold it through offers to watchers for $20, and it took 3 days to sell. Now, if you saw my last video, you'll recognize this 5th item. I sold 2 of these that I shared in my last video, and this was the last one. So I had picked up 3 of these, and I paid $1 each. I sold this one for my full asking price of $12 plus shipping, and that took 7 days to sell. So in total, all 3 of them sold within a week, and I think that's pretty good. So next up is a little mini travel size perfume bottle, and my partner inherited a collection of these quite a while ago from a relative, and we're just starting to go through them. So I actually sold a few more of these. I put two in this video, but I didn't want to overload any of these with just perfume bottles, so you'll probably see a few of these pop up in the next few videos, but I'll try not to put like all the ones I sell in there. So this was the first one to sell, so I thought I'd include this one. It was J'adore by Christian Dior. And when I took the picture for this, I actually put my hand in it just so people could really see what the size of the bottle that they're getting. So these mini bottles are like exact replicas for the most part of the bigger bottle, so I didn't want anyone to be surprised when they received it that it was just a little tiny bottle. So, like I said, I have nothing into this. I got my full asking price of $12, and this one sold on the same day that I listed it. Next is a pair of, I always struggle to say this, I think it's just called Weons by G.H. Bass. And I have sold these a few times in both men's and women's. They've always done pretty well for me. This pair, you can tell, had never been worn. And there is the stamp on the bottom there. This happened to be a men's pair in a size 9. I paid $5.45 for this pair, and I accepted a best offer of $37. These took 28 days to sell, and they probably would have sold even a little faster if they were just a couple sizes bigger, so even like a 10 through 12 in men's is kind of the sweet spot. So 9 is a little bit on the small side. These also sell really well in women's, so I always pick them up if they're in good condition when I find them. They're really the only thing by G.H. Bass that I bother picking up, so definitely keep an eye out for these Weons. This is the other little mini perfume that I threw into this video. So this was Karl Lagerfeld Sun Moon Stars, and this one actually had the amount of ounces listed on it there, so just over 0.1 ounces, so definitely not a lot of perfume in these. Again, nothing into this, and I got my full asking price of $22, and this one took 1 day to sell. Item number 9 here is this Express Portofino shirt, and I loved the horse print on this one. So Express Portofino shirts have a great sell-through rate. Unfortunately, they're always marked up at my thrift store. They think that Express is something really special for some reason. So I only pick them up if they're half off, or in this case I had a coupon. So I did pay a little more than I would normally like for this one. It came out to $4.82 with tax, and I sold it through Offers to Watchers for $15.40, but it only took 5 days to sell, and in my experience, every one of these shirts that I've picked up, even the ones in solid colors, have sold pretty quickly. They don't sell for a lot, but if you kind of know that something is almost a guaranteed sale, it's not much of a risk, even if you're paying up for it a little bit, in my opinion. So if you're shopping at the bins or somewhere else where you have a great cost of goods, I would pick these up every time in good condition because, like I said, they always sell. And the last item that I have to show you today is this top by a brand called Pretty Angel. This is the second time I've sold this brand, and the first time it actually didn't sell quickly, but I got a lot of watchers, and so I think that it must be a brand that has a little bit of a following. So I came across this one and decided to try it out again. Here's the tag from the inside. This is not a high quality brand. I don't know where they sell it. I don't know how expensive it is to begin with, but I'd probably guess that it's not super expensive to begin with. And it seems to be always some combination of knit fabrics and like knit and layered and embellishments. So if you look it up, you'll see kind of this style, and it tends to stand out on the rack. So I paid $2.42 for this top. I got my full asking price of $22, and that took 5 days to sell. So that's all that I have to show you today. I hope these videos are helpful to you in some way. If they are, please go ahead and hit that like or subscribe button, and of course you can feel free to dislike it if that's how you feel. And if you leave a comment, I would definitely appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching.